Alright my friends, C3PO's event is finally back, and in this video I wanted to just revisit my quest to get C3PO last time around, because I know a lot of you just kind of threw in the towel or maybe didn't have your Ewoks ready, and you are ready now. What do you need to know about this event so you can get your own 7-star C3PO? Now, the biggest thing I can tell you right out the gate is be patient, because this event is really frustrating, especially if you're trying to do it with under-geared Ewoks. Here are the Ewoks that I was using. I did have a Gear 10 Paplu. I did cave and put a Zeta on him. I did have a Chief's Chirpa with the Zeta, and I took my Chirpa up to Gear 10 as well. I feel like a Zeta on Chirpa is pretty important out of all of the Zetas. If you're considering dropping, Chirpa is going to be maybe a must unless you have all Gear 12 Ewoks. Wicket, I took all the way up to Gear 11. I did have an Ewok Elder at Gear 11 as well. I had an Ewok Scout at Gear 10, but I ended up not using him. I ended up doing it with Tebow, who I had at Gear 9. Now, if you look here, my Logray is pretty decently geared, but I don't have him at 7 stars. I didn't have him there for the event. If you do have Logray, it's going to be a lot more useful for you. I definitely recommend doing this with Logray because he is going to be able to daze, which makes a big difference. I didn't have that, but I still was able to manage to get the win. All right, so I'm going to show you 2 clips here. Because it took me so many restarts, I actually ended up not getting the beginning of my final completed attempt, but I do have an attempt here that shows you kind of best case scenario when the event starts. And so let's go through and look at both of these clips and kind of figure out what you guys need to get done. All right, here we go. So something to know right out the gate is that you're going to have a pretty big onslaught of attacks as this first starts. You kind of do need to make sure the Elder is not dead when this first starts. And then what you're going to do first and foremost is clear that taunt off of the commando and focus on Chewbacca. Something that's really important with Wicket is you're going to want to use his assist call on Ewok Elder, and there's 2 reasons for that. Number 1, it does get Elder stealthed, which is very helpful so that you can keep him alive, because obviously Elder is going to be able to revive your Ewoks, but then also it's going to use Elder's basic, which helps gain the team turn meter. And so as much as possible, you are going to want to call assisting on Ewok Elder so that you can gain extra turn meter. Once that initial onslaught is taken care of, that's going to be very important. Okay, so you can see here I'm going to clear this taunt with Tebow because you're going to want to focus on Chewbacca first. He's definitely the damage machine. And then from here, something to keep in mind is it might not feel like you're making very much progress, but if you can manage your turn meter well, here we're going to call Ewok Elder again. Chewbacca's getting close. We're almost taking Chewbacca out, and you're just going to kind of paper cut this team to death. And so we're now going to focus on R2-D2. That was probably a mistake. I almost think I should have focused on Commando there, but now we've got Han open, so that's who I'm going to go for first. And so the kill order here to begin with is going to be Chewie and then Han. Now this attempt, I was not able to get Han out, and I don't have the footage of when I was able to get Han out. I'll speed it up here. You can see it does not go very well because a couple people died, and so just be aware the oranges on this event really suck. So let's look at an attempt where I did get Han down. All right, so here's the attempt where I was able to get Han taken out. Again, very RNG dependent, which is frustrating. So Han, Chewie are down, and now from here you want to focus on Commando next. And a big reason for this, and I actually got to this point in another attempt, which you can go see on my original video, where I got Han and Chewie down. I was all excited, and then I focused on R2-D2 exclusively, but then Commando taunted and had Retribution. That killed me single-handedly, his Retribution. And so as soon as he comes out of stealth, I'm going to want to focus on Commando. And so you can see here, I'm sitting here panicking. I'm not doing anything. I actually, when I did this attempt, I had my guild leader on the phone with me. That might not be a bad idea if you guys can get on the phone with somebody who's been there, talk through each decision, especially when you finally get that RNG just right to get Chewie out and to get Han out. Then you're going to want to make sure you handle things very carefully from there, because you do not want to make any mistakes. So there's the taunt. And so the biggest thing I want to do here is clear that retribution, which I am able to do because on, let's see, this is Paplu. On his basic, he is able to remove buffs. And so here in a second, I'm deliberating. I'm deliberating. There I clear the buffs. And so I've got those buffs cleared, so I'm not going to have to worry about that retribution. And now I am going to focus on Commando, and that's what ultimately wins this match for me. So here's Wicket. We're going to call Elder. That's going to get us some Terminator. He's stealth. We almost got Commando out of here. More deliberation. I think this is where my heart rate started just going up. So we got Tebow revived here. And a big reason for I had done this so many times. I don't think it is really, my friends, it is not advisable to do this event with the gear as low as mine was and without Logray. If at all costs you can get Logray in there or you can get the gear up, I think this would be a lot less frustrating for you. I was able to get this done. And in this attempt, it might look easy because this is the one attempt where it worked out, but please be aware, this I probably did this over 200 times before I got this RNG just right. And so I recommend having a soda with you, having a loved one with you, somebody to, you know, scratch your back or tell you it's going to be okay if you're trying to do it with the gear levels I did it with, because it was just really frustrating. Mods are also really important. Basically, you want to have your team be very survivable. You obviously want to have them be quick. I just moved my arena mods over, and that's what I did that seemed to get it done. And so that is also something to keep in mind. There we go. Now we got Commando down, and from here, it's just going to be a matter of taking R2-D2 out. If you get to this point and you still have Elder in play, you should be able to win from there. My friends, I hope this guide was helpful for you to give you some ideas on attack strategy and where your Ewoks might need to be. Again, my Ewoks are they're definitely under-geared for this event. I found a way to squeak through this and find the strategy that worked, but it was very, very RNG dependent with this event because you have to survive an initial onslaught of attacks no matter where your speeds are at. It just starts you from behind, which can make it very hard to do, even for a full Gear 12 Ewok team. I know some people without the mods in place and without Zetas in place, even Gear 12 Ewoks can struggle in this. And so, biggest word of advice, be patient with this event and just wait until you can get the right RNG. Get somebody on the phone to coach you through it if you're not sure, and make careful decisions. There's no time limit, and you guys can get your 7-star C3PO eventually. All right, everyone, let me know down in the comments below if this video was helpful for you, and once the event rolls around, please do tell me if you were able to get your 7-star C3PO. Thanks again for joining me for the video, my friends, and as always, my brothers, don't forget.
My dead body.